Liz Wood's ex-girlfriend? Guest totally debunks Big Ed Brown's weird claims. Hello everyone, nice to see you on my channel. During the latest episode of 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, multiple relationships blew up. At the end, we saw Liz Woods flee after Big Ed Brown ruined their engagement party. To hear him tell it, he had just uncovered evidence of her sexual history, and vowed to get to the bottom of it. But someone who was at that party says that Ed's portrayal of events is way off, and is calling out TLC for playing along. Big Ed Brown's true nature reared its ugly head on Season 7, Episode 7. We saw that. What we did not see was what allegedly went down during the engagement party. Though we'll have a refresher below, here is the version that TLC gave us in lieu of showing us the actual incident. Allegedly, during the party, but seemingly off-camera, Liz had some altercation with one of her guests. To hear TLC's cards tell it, Liz and this guest got into a heated exchange. Ed claimed that the woman grabbed Liz's arm. Of course, he claimed that it was sexually charged, somehow. But in a now-hidden Reddit post, preserved via screenshot below, someone who claims to have been there had something to say. "My girlfriend is the girl in question here," the post begins. "We were getting ready to leave, so my GF was hugging Liz goodbye." And, the post continued, "Liz looked like she was going to cry, so my GF looks at her like endless quo. Hey, are you good? Do you need to talk?" And had her hand on her arm, the post elaborated. "Then I walked up and made an inside joke we have had within our friend group. And Liz lost it. Apparently, she started yelling at my GF and I were like, 'Liz, it's a joke.' So, the Redditor wrote, we start going back to our group to get our stuff. They were, after all, already leaving. They kept calling my GF all night," the Redditor wrote, "and Ed was harassing her, trying to accuse them of having a relationship. And my GF was just like endless quo, 'I'm not here to be used for whatever plot or narrative you think is here,' they wrote." They also clarified that the GF in question was never attracted to Liz. As we reported during our recap, Liz and Ed's segment began on a much more optimistic wavelength. Liz was excited for her engagement party. Unlike past relationships, this would be a chance to get things right. Unfortunately, her future mother-in-law and future daughter-in-law would not be attending. Also, it sucks that she's with Ed. Liz and Ed arrived wearing white. She acknowledged that some guests might suspect that this could turn into a surprise wedding. Cameras were there, and Liz was in white. But her grandmother had already vowed to make sure that this doesn't happen. Phew. Those of us who have regrettably come to know Big Ed for who he is may feel surprised, but he has a lot of friends. Sure, some of them, like his family, do not approve of this relationship. But they had an uncomfortably dense crowd of people to cheer them on at their engagement party. Ed astonished viewers by openly comparing himself to a blend of Danny DeVito and George Clooney. We have also compared him to Danny DeVito. He thinks that he's the beloved actor, but his character better matches DeVito's It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia character, Frank Reynolds. Fortunately, Ed did not announce this comparison at the party. He just said it on camera to millions of viewers. Clown. Click on the bell icon to stay up to date on my new videos. Liz's grandparents raised her, but her mother, Patty, attended the party to support her. On the one hand, she had seen Ed support Liz and could accept the relationship to some degree. But she could not ignore the massive age gap. And clearly, neither could Ed. Ed could not resist blurting out that Liz's mom is younger than he is. The context? Acknowledging that he should not call her mommy. It's never clear whether Ed just has no filter, or if he blunders like this on purpose so that people will feel sorry for him. After whatever happened with Liz and her former friends at the party, she went up to Ed. In her mind, she was sharing an intimate moment with her fiancé at their engagement party. But his twisted mind was full of paranoia. With his insecurities driving him, he decided to interrogate Liz. "Were you in a relationship with her?" Ed demanded to know. Obviously, he ruined the moment, the mood, and the party. Ed was clearly accusing Liz of being bisexual, and insisting that she tell him on camera, on mic. Either the answer is no, and Ed was jumping to conclusions. Or the answer is yes, and Ed was outing Liz on television. Just like he did to Rosemary on an earlier season. It is almost always appropriate to remove yourself from a toxic situation. This was true when Brandon and Julia walked out of Betty Gibbs' ambush. And it was appropriate when Liz did the same. When Ed pursued her, unwilling to let her simply walk away, she sped up, crossing the street to avoid him. Liz also accurately described him. Not just insults, but clearly a lot of things about him that she seldom admits. She knows, deep down, that he will never love and support her as much as she does him. And Liz admitted as much on camera. Production did catch up with Liz. In part, they were just doing their jobs by filming her. But also, it's a good idea for her to not be alone at the moment. In addition to interviewing her, production encouraged her to take Ed's call. But it did not go well. Ed had called Liz, but not to apologize. Instead, he accused her of having ruined the entire evening by walking away from him when he said something esti and asked about something that is none of his business. We now have it from basically everyone involved that Liz was not in a relationship with this woman, which does not excuse Ed's antics. Ed continued to make his insecurities Liz's problem. He vowed to get to the bottom of this mystery that he had invented for himself. And he also told Liz that he's not marrying her until he knows the truth. We wish that things had ended for good here, but we somehow doubt it.